This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for joining this conversation this morning with Brent, who has already been in 2 meetings. And so we really appreciate your time, Brent, to talk to us about Trango and just have this recorded so that people can maybe be less intimidated or just get a little bit more knowledge about how to use Trango now and what might be happening in the future for our public transportation, which is so fantastic that we have. So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, Brent, and then we'll just kind of have an informal time here together. You probably have some things you want to share with us, and I have some questions. I'm sure other folks do too.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll kind of do a little bit of both. Introduce myself a little bit. I am Brent Tim. I am actually a local of Okanagan County. I born and raised here. I'm actually between Tonasket and Orville, but very familiar with the entire county. I've worked countywide in various positions, this position and my previous position, for the last 20 years. So very familiar with the county and the residents of Okanagan County, including the Med-How. I've been the general manager here at Trango for the last year. Before that, I was the operations manager for 7 years. So I was hired as soon as the system started, and have seen the growth in the public transit system here, and I'm pretty impressed. I'm impressed with the residents of the Med-How Valley, especially, and the ridership that's been increasing over there between Twisp and Winthrop. There are 2 different systems that are in Okanagan County, for those who don't know. There is a door-to-door system that is based between Twisp and Winthrop, that can pick people up as long as they're calling in advance. I believe they are requiring 24 hours in advance notice, at least. And that's with Okanagan County Transportation and Nutrition. And you'll see their bus that's parked out there in Twisp at the senior center. They run every Monday, Thursday, and Friday. And it's basically an 8 to 4:30. So as long as they call in advance, they can go door to door anywhere between the Twisp and Winthrop. Go to doctor's appointments, go to the senior meal site. It's all based around the senior meal site lunches. That's what their schedule is. So they can call 509-826-4391. And like I say, that's Okanagan County Transportation and Nutrition. And they can pick them up right from the door and take them wherever they need to go on door side. And that's between Twisp and Winthrop. So if they need to go outside of the area, say they need to come over to the Okanagan Valley, then they would be using the public transit system, which is called a fixed route system, where we have specific stops at specific times. And do I have screen sharing ability?
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can share my screen, and I can show you our system. Right, actually, I can show you live. Can you see that?
Yep.
I'm gonna zoom in. Right now, so anywhere that is that yellow line, you can see is our bus route. So we have the bus that's right here. You can see it move. This is actually live. So it's moving up, going between Twisp and Winthrop right now. And anywhere that this little blue bus sign is, let me zoom in, like here is 2nd and Med-How, and here is at the end of Glover Street. There's one that's right across from Hanks right here. Those are the bus stops that you can see. So our fixed route system goes on this same route 9 times a day. So every hour between 8 o'clock, and then the last one leaves Twisp at 5:20. It goes on every hour, and it just goes on the same loop, the same route. And we can catch it, even though we have fixed stops, you can catch that bus anywhere along the way as long as the bus can get off the road. So say if you want to, the Calvary Chapel, which is right there, if there's a place to get off the road, you can see and just flag the bus down and they can get off. Riverbend RV Park is the bus moved, so it's almost there now. We have several passengers that have gotten on and off the bus there. It's the safe place to get on and off the bus. They just flag the bus down and it can pull off the road. Over in Winthrop, we just added a stop that's over here by the new library. So that will give next to there's a physical therapy place that's pretty popular there. So we do serve that physical therapy location as well as the library. And then it just winds its way up through town, actually up above on the hill, and then comes back down to the Red Barn, and then comes back and goes back to Twisp. So like I say, anywhere along that route, people can get on and off the bus, just flag it, and then they can tell the driver where they want off, and the driver will be able to get as close to their location as possible, as long as we can safely get off the road. For those, I know that there's a little bit of hesitancy with riding the bus because it's an unknown. So anytime that we can do several things. You can, like I say, flag the bus down and then ask the drivers. We have awesome drivers who are more than willing to answer any question that you have. We really emphasize customer service. So they understand and they know the route better than anybody. And they know the locations where they can get on and off the road. I encourage you just to flag the bus down and ask the drivers any questions that you have. You can also call the office if you feel more comfortable, and we are more than willing to send somebody out from the office to meet you at the location that you want to get on the bus, and then we can assist you and kind of do almost like a rider training at that point. And we can go with you to make sure that you get on the bus safely and then off the bus at your location, know where to catch it, and then help you catch the bus again and then go back to the location that you need to go, or where you closest to your home. So that's the fixed route system, as well as the door-to-door. So now, if you have any questions, I am more than willing to answer any questions that you have, because you guys are the ones that will be serving, and you know what you need better than I do just telling you.
I'll see if anybody out there does. I do.
I was just sort of curious, how many people work for Trango?
We have a total of 17 employees right now, 11 of which are drivers. So, we have 3 routes that are over in the Methow Valley. One is between Twisp and Winthrop. One goes between Twisp and Okanagan, and then the other one goes Twisp to Pateros. We also have a route that serves between Okanagan and Pateros. Omak and Okanagan, Okanagan to Tonasket, and then Tonasket to Orville. That's what we're currently running right now. We did just order some buses just last week and working on some expansion, as well as a very economical way to serve the Methow Valley, where we actually ordered some front wheel drive buses. They're smaller, 9-passenger buses, and they're going to be much more economical than the 20-passenger buses that we have right now. And I think that it's going to be a huge asset to us being able to serve. And then part of that will be an expansion to serve some of the outlying areas. So it'll be gathering the data that we need to make sure that we can fill in the gaps of service that we have, whether we do, and we've thought about several things, whether we do some recreational routes that go to Mazama, especially in the wintertime for cross-country skiing, or mountain biking in the summertime. And we have several riders that ride to the top of the loop with their mountain bikes in the summertime and then ride back down. There's a beautiful trail that goes from the loop all the way over through the backwoods of the mountains between the loop and then also Methow, or not Methow, but Twisp, I believe. So they can get on there and take their bus. Our buses have bike racks on them, so they can load their bike up, go to the top of the hill, and ride wherever they need to ride.
That's neat.
That's great. I'm curious about the schedule. So it's at the top of the hour in both towns, or?
So the ones that I was talking are, they leave at 8 o'clock. Right now it starts at 8 o'clock and it will
I don't put
leave,
it on my Medicare one.
it leaves there across from Hanks
Oh,
at 8
anything
o'clock in the
in-
morning. And then it will go, like, it'll go to Okanagan. It'll be in Okanagan at 9, or it's in Winthrop. It's every hour. So it's between Twisp and Winthrop. It would be 8 o'clock and then 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Then the driver goes to lunch, and then 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So every hour it goes between Twisp and Winthrop. And every 2 hours it goes between either Twisp and Pateros or Twisp and Okanagan, just because of the distances that we have to travel.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So it goes between, I think so. Yeah, whether or not you're in Twisp or Winthrop.
Correct. So it's basically, it's every half hour. So it's in Twisp at 8 o'clock, and then it leaves Winthrop at 8:25, and then back to Twisp.
Mhm.
So between Twisp and Winthrop, it's basically every half hour. You can almost figure a half hour. So 8 o'clock Twisp, 8:25 Winthrop, and then back down 9 o'clock Twisp, 9:25 that leaves Winthrop.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now, yes, that is. So top of the hour in Twisp and 20.
Yeah, the whole loop between Twisp and Winthrop
know.
takes an hour.
Gotcha. So there's basically one, because sometimes I see two buses in the valley, but is there usually just one that's kind of doing?
So you have
doing
one of the, they all transfer there in Twisp. So if you're in Twisp, you should be able to see 3 buses at the same time, almost at the same stop at the same time, because one of them will go between Twisp and Winthrop. One goes between Twisp and Okanagan, and then
Right.
the other one goes between Twisp and Pateros.
Gotcha. Okay, great. That is great. Any other questions from our?
Well, I'm always curious about what about Wenatchee?
You know, we don't serve Wenatchee. That is one of the gaps in services that's been outlined in our new plan that was just approved last night, which is the Human Services Transportation Plan, to do some Wenatchee trips. Okanagan County Transportation and Nutrition, I believe they are back to doing their monthly trips to Wenatchee if they have enough riders. You would have to, for anybody interested in that, they would have to call the Okanagan County Transportation and Nutrition, because I don't know their monthly schedule that goes to Wenatchee. So again, that number is 509-826-4391.
Yeah, it's an amazing resource here. We have a lot of members that get picked up and go do their workout and then brought home, and John Jumper is real popular.
Yeah, John is a great guy.
Yeah.
How often is the route from Twisp to Okanagan?
So the
How
Twisp to
often?
Okanagan goes every 2 hours. So it leaves Twisp at 8, 10, 1, and 3.
And does it go to Winthrop first, or no, just Twisp?
It just
Okay.
does Twisp Okanagan.
Right. So if you needed to come from Winthrop, then you'd take at the half hour, you'd come down to Twisp, and then at the hour.
Right. So it would mean, so say you wanted to go to Okanagan and you're in Winthrop, then you would leave at probably like the 9:25. And then it would get you to Twisp by 10 o'clock. And that's right when you would meet up with the other bus. So you would transfer buses from Winthrop you would catch the bus in Winthrop, transfer in Twisp to the Twisp Okanagan bus.
So where do you land in Okanagan?
We land right across from the IGA, which would meet up with all of the other buses, because that's where our office is right across from the IGA store. So say you need to go on to Walmart, then we could make sure that you get on the right bus to go to OMAC, which would
And
drop you
then-
off right there at Walmart.
What about someone who needs to go to the clinic? How would they have to walk then from Walmart to the clinic, or?
They would not if they're going to, say they're going to Confluence Health. That same bus, the OMAC Okanagan route, goes up by the clinics as well.
Okay, great.
So just like we do in Twist and Winthrop that I showed you, we have the same type of route that goes between OMAC and Okanagan. And it goes to Walmart, and then it goes up to the clinics. Then it goes back downtown, OMAC, and then back
So
onto Okanagan.
Let's say that you wanted to schedule an appointment so that you could take public transportation. What time, I guess, how is the lag? Like, if you catch the 10 a.m., you go 9:30 Winthrop, then you get on your 10 a.m. over in Twisp, and then you land in Okanagan. How long would you have to wait for a connector up to the clinic?
So you would get over to Okanagan right around 10 to 11, and then the next bus leaves Okanagan at 11:05.
Okay, so you'd have 15 minutes there.
15 minutes, and we have a waiting room here in our office. If you wanted to wait, you could come in, sit down, and then jump on the bus that goes to OMAC, and they would get you off just right across the street from Confluence Health.
And what time then would you be arriving in at the clinic, say?
About 11:30.
11:30.
Yep.
So right. So if you made your appointment for 11:45 or something like that.
Yes. You would have plenty of time to get there if it was any time after about 11:35.
Okay.
So 11:35 and after, you would get there in time.
And then then you'd have to do the whole thing back.
Correct. And then you would just do it backwards. So catch the bus at the same location that would drop you off. At that time of day, OMAC and Okanagan, we actually have every half hour we have a bus leaving. So it would be, say you're done at 12:30, you could catch the bus at 12:30, or if it was 1 o'clock, you could catch the bus at 1 o'clock and still make it back down to Okanagan by or before 2 o'clock, which would be when the next one leaves to go back over to Twist.
Right. Okay. And people, if they were like, okay, I want to use public transportation, or I need to use public transportation to get to my medical appointment, they could always call you guys to kind of plot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You call, and Kim would be the one answering the phone more than likely, and she knows the schedule inside and out and can walk you through exactly where to catch the bus, what time you would be catching it, where you would be going, where the next bus would be that you need to transfer to. She would clue you in on all of those times, specific times, where it would drop you off, and then where to catch it to go back.
Right. And there's not a lot of walking involved with any of this. It's pretty much
no,
just right
especially
there.
if it's right on the route, then we'll get you as close as we absolutely can. We meet right, so it goes, we actually do serve all three of the major clinics that are in OMAC. So it goes right by, we drop off right between Family Health Centers in Okanagan, or the Confluence Health. And we also go down by the Mid-Valley Medical Group. Right there at the corner, we would drop you off right in their parking lot.
Great.
Do you have?
And
oh, I'm sorry.
no, you go, Gloria.
Do you have a nice map like the one that you showed us for the Methow Valley? Do you have that available for Okanagan?
Yes, we do. They should be on, if you go to our website, they'll be on our website, which is okanagantransit.com. And if you go to schedules, all of the specific maps would be on there. So if you're looking where they are, me see if I can pull that up. So let's look at the Twisp Okanagan. I'm going to share my screen again. I don't know if you can see that.
Not yet. No.
Oh, I need to hit share.
Oh, there it is.
Now you should be able to.
Yeah.
So here is right by Hanks, and then you can see that where it goes down Highway 20 up over the loop. We have a stop right at the loop entrance, the snow park entrance. And then it goes on into Okanagan. And then this is just right. So the IGA store is right here. You can see it says Okanagan IGA Market. So right here is where our office is, right there in the corner. We have the same would be for almost like our OMAC Okanagan. Oh,
Okay. And
that
then
that one's the schedule. I don't see the map on that one. Oh,
it
right
might
here.
be. There it is.
So the map, and this is just it shows the route that each of those buses go on.
Great. Can you show the website page again, just and hold it there a little more slowly? So, yeah. So just for
just go to
Okanagan.
Okanagan. Yep, just go to okanagantransit.com and then click right on the top where it says schedules. And that brings up, you can do the Orville to Nasket to Okanagan. This just lists all of the schedules that are all of the routes that we have. OMAC Okanagan with the map, Okanagan Pateros, Twisp Okanagan, Twisp Pateros, and then the Twisp Winthrop.
And how much does it cost to go Twisp to Okanagan?
It's $1 per boarding.
Wow.
So you can get, it would be if you're going from Winthrop, it would be $1 to Twisp, and then you get another $1 that goes from Twisp to Okanagan.
So you could ride from Winthrop to OMAC for $6.
Yes. And back.
Right, and back. That's so great compared to the price of gas.
Especially with the price of gas right now.
Yeah. Okay,
I understand. My commute is about 45 miles that I come down to work. And so I get it. And that's the thing, is we want to make this as economically as we can for people, and then as easy to ride as we can, because I think it's a huge service to the people of Okanagan County. And if you can get from Winthrop to Walmart and back for $6, that's a whole lot cheaper than it is just driving your car, just in gas alone.
Right. Absolutely. I just want to let Lincoln and Janet, in case you two are trying to ask a question, you are on mute. There was some background noise, so you'll have to unmute. And here's another question. I'm wondering if there's any thought, or maybe you could give us a preview of what came out of the survey and from the Council of Governments, what got passed last night. Is there any plan to expand into Brewster? That's another place where people often have to go to the doctor.
So the plan is to be able to increase the amount of service that we are actually providing. Right now, there is a way for them to get to Brewster, but there is a little bit of a layover in Pateros, just the way that the buses work out. So the plan is to be able to work out a way so there isn't that much of a gap in services. And so what that looks like, I don't know. I would love to be able to go and create a route that goes and meets up with the Link Transit in Chelan, and then be able to meet and catch that bus that back to Pateros to Brewster, so there isn't a layover. But that would just it's going to take some planning and some real data to be able to justify it.
And I think that there is a bus that goes maybe once a day from Pateros down to Wenatchee, and then Wenatchee back
Yeah,
to
there
Pateros.
is there
I
is
don't know
the
if
Apple
it's really-
line. There is the Apple line, and it leaves Omak at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then goes to Okanagan, goes on down to Brewster and Pateros, to Chelan, and then on down to Wenatchee, and even goes on to Ellensburg to meet up with Greyhound. So it goes down at 7 o'clock in the morning from Omak, and then it comes back. I believe it gets back to Omak about 3:30. So I'm not sure what time it gets back to Pateros, but 2:30 or so.
Okay. That might be kind of a fun Met How at Home field trip to like take public transportation, to some different places and just do it together.
And
Would
if
we
you
need to make
wanted
a
to do that,
reservation?
you just let me know and how many passes you need, because I could get you some free passes to ride for the day, for any of our routes. So
Uh-huh.
you just let me know, and I would be more than willing to get you some free passes to show to the driver. And I think
That
you're
sounds-
right. That would be a fun field trip.
I know we could go to Oroville for lunch or something and
Yeah.
come back, or yeah. Okay. I love that idea. Some free passes. Let's do this. Any
Because
other?
really the best way to learn how to ride the route is just to get on. So even if you
Yeah.
want to see where the route goes in Winthrop, even if you aren't going to get off, if you just get on in Twist, it will drop you off at the same location that you get on. So get on, see where the bus goes, what times it goes, and come back.
Uh-huh. Yeah. One thing, I have a member that rides real regularly, and they had a thought or comment that sometimes it's a little tricky with meetings that are happening at the top of the hour, actually happening at the top. And so their thought was, what if you bumped it to like at the quarter of the hour, or I can't remember their exact thought, so that there wasn't so much lag time with those top of the hour appointments.
Yeah, and that does make it difficult, and we understand that. But there's really no way that we can be everywhere at the top of the hour. So if they're going from Winthrop to Twist to get at the top of the hour, and then from Twist to Winthrop, that would require a lot more frequency than what we can justify with ridership right now. I would
Right.
love
That
to be
makes
able to
sense.
increase frequency and be able to hire the drivers to do even every half hour leave from Twist. And that would double the amount of service that we're providing into Winthrop, to be able to double the amount of service that we have over the loop and then down to Pateros. So then it would be every hour instead of every 2 hours.
Right.
It's just going to take a little bit more time to build the ridership up so we can justify it. But that would be fantastic if we could.
But
Yeah.
shifting a quarter hour for all of those schedules messes Trango up. You're not able to.
Yeah, because when you work on the whole system, we have to look at the time system wide. So we also have to look at times that we're meeting up in Tonasket, between the Tonasket and Orville bus, and then the Tonasket and Okanagan bus. So all of the times all kind of have to mesh, because we all meet at the same place in Okanagan where they can transfer to all of them. So being able to, you would have to change the whole schedule system-wide throughout the county to accommodate that. And then it wouldn't necessarily work.
Yeah, and it makes sense because somebody in the network is experiencing the quarter hour. It's just
yes, you will always have somebody that's going to be experiencing that it's just not going to work for them.
Fair, yeah. Do you have any images of what the interior of the Trango buses are like, so that people could kind of understand, like, when the bus pulls up, I'm going to know what it looks like to get up the stairs, and kind of think through, like, if I came out of Walmart with a little cart with some groceries in it, what would that look like?
Let me see if I
Right.
can pull up some images of the ones that we actually just purchased that we're going to be putting into service over there.
And do you have an accommodation where there's kind of like that if somebody can't walk up the stairs or is in a wheelchair or has a walker, that sort of thing? What's the accommodation for that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll show you that when I show this. Let me share my screen again. And then these will be, this is just like the bus that we did just purchase. So you can see this is what they're just it's a van. It's got the regular door on it for passengers. It's a low floor, so there's not a high step that goes up. That's the floor plan. So it's a 9-passenger. There's the driver and then 1 passenger here that sits in the regular passenger seat. And then the other buses are just outline the back of the van, plus 2 wheelchair spots available. There is this is a ramp that folds out. So even if somebody has a walker and needs to get on, the driver would just let that ramp out and then they could ramp right up into the bus. There it is with the ramp out, and you can kind of see what it looks like.
Right.
So it meets all the ADA specs. So the slope is right. No more than, I think it's no more than like a 30% slope. It meets all those ADA specs. So somebody can use, as long as they can do it on a ramp that's even going into a building that meets ADA specs, we can use this.
Great.
There it is. That's the view of what somebody would see coming into the bus. And then so again, there's the ADA ramp. And then this is what the inside of the bus looks like. So they would just come in, turn the corner, and then there's seats available right there. There's the wheelchair securements. Handrails to be able to grab a hold of if you need to help get on the vehicle. There's some on the door. So when the doors open, there's handrails right there, as well as all the way up.
Looks really good.
The seats are really quite comfortable, actually. A nice soft ride with handrails right now on the headrail or on the head rest. So you can use those to sit down as well, and then armrests. All of our buses do have seat belts in them as well. And then that's the view. That's the view looking from the back that looks towards the driver. One thing that we have heard is about the wraps that we have on the seat. Our new buses will not have, or the wraps on the windows. Our new buses will not have the wraps on the windows. It will all be open, so people will be able to have a nice view of the scenery as you're going, especially going over the loop. There's no much more beautiful view than over the loop. So we don't want to take that view as you're riding the bus.
Great. And obviously if someone needs a hand, getting up that ramp or whatnot, or with their stuff, they would just
if they're
letting
that ramp down, then those drivers would be there right with the person to get on and off the bus.
Great.
Normally the driver would sit in the seat if it's somebody who's mobile and can get on and off by themselves. But if they need any help, the drivers are right there. They get out of their seat. They're right there to be able to assist.
Super. Any other questions out here? Yeah. And one thing I thought is that maybe just posting the schedule because there's those great new stops in Twisp, and having
we already have a plan, and we have somebody that's working on a design for that to be able to put those schedules that says, if you need this bus, this is the time that it will be here. And then kind of gives the map of the rest of the system. So we're already, that's in the works to design that. We just have to wait for somebody to design it and then get them installed.
I know how everything goes. It just all takes time.
It's amazing
then-
how much time it really takes to get through all of
I
the
know.
processes that it takes.
There's so many details behind the scenes. That's a lot. How about little kiosk stops in Winthrop? Is that on is there any movement towards that?
What do you mean?
Like TWISP has those nice shelters,
Yeah, so we're working on doing that throughout the county. We'll have to meet with Winthrop and come up with a design and then have them built because it has to meet their westernization. So all that is in the works. We're currently working with an engineer, and the engineer that we're working with does a lot of work for Winthrop. So it's all that is in the works, but it's amazing how much time it really takes to get through the engineering, to get everything built, to get the approval from the city to put it in and move forward.
Yeah. Well, great job on the TWISP ones. They look really good.
Yeah, I've been very impressed.
Let's see. Any other questions out there? I know, again, Lincoln and Janet, if you have anything to say, you can put it in the chat or just unmute. Yarrow, you had something?
Yeah, Brent, is Trango ever used or available to be kind of rented? Like if there was a function that we went to as a group, does that ever happen?
That's one thing that according to the RCWs of the state of Washington, we can't do charter service because we can't compete with the private industry. And so if there's anything that would be private, then we just can't do that. I wish we could because we get a lot of requests for that. There are some times where if there was a special route, like I know that when they did the blues festival up there, the Rhythm and Blues, we had thought about doing a route specifically for that to take people, pick them up so they could, do some parking and wouldn't have to worry about parking there. If there's a specific route that we do all the time, we can do that. Or even if we have it on our schedule where we do in Omak, Okanagan, we usually will do a Stampede route. That because even though it's only during Stampede time, we have it scheduled, we have it timed, we have everything set up. So it's on our regular schedule. So as long as it fits our regular schedule and if there's an event that you do every year and we could do a shuttle service to that, we'd be more than open to do that. But as far as renting it and going on an excursion or a field trip, we just can't do that.
Thank you.
But great question. I really wish we could because we get a lot of requests.
Yeah, and I was just thinking to kind of improve kind of usage and adoption by getting people out on some excursion, and then they know what the bus is like and it's familiar, and then they see it on the street, and then it just becomes more part of their world.
Right.
Yeah.
And we are looking at doing some expansion and to do more recreational things. So if we do that, then that might be a great opportunity to do it. Say every Saturday we're going to go to Mazama, or every Saturday we're going to take and do a special lunch one that goes down to Pateras and they can go to Howard's. And we'll do that every Saturday. We have a special route that just goes down and comes back. We've thought about doing some of that stuff, but it's just going to take some planning and some time and see where the ridership really would be, and then to be able to determine what would best fit the needs of the community. So if anybody has suggestions on any of those, I would love to hear them.
Yeah, how do you get feedback about what routes should be expanded or created or increased in frequency? Like, how do you assess that?
I assess it by looking at the current ridership, because we have all of that data from the beginning of when we started offering services, and I can see the ridership. I can see it per stop. So which of the even stops have the most ridership, and then as ridership grows, you can see the trends. And as I'm looking to do some expansion, looking and seeing, we're getting a lot of ridership that goes between TWISP and Winthrop, so maybe increase the frequency to go there. Also any feedback that we get from the community, whether they leave feedback on the bus, they tell the drivers, they call our office and say, hey, have you thought about doing this? We take that into consideration, as well as doing the public outreach. So we were over even on putting the HSTP together. We were at the Twist Farmers Market and talked to people and just gathering information and having them fill out surveys and just informal conversations and letting them know about the bus, and then where would they take it, where would they go, what kind of service would they like to see. So we do public outreach as well as we're going out and going for expansion.
How many bikes can you fit on the bus?
Currently, we can do 2. With our new vehicles, we're actually looking at expanding that and doing some of the buses that we can take up to 5. So if we're doing, especially if we're going to be targeting some of those recreational activities, somebody wants to take their bike, we need to be able to accommodate that. So we're looking at doing 5 buses or 5 bikes on our new buses.
Great. And then is there also room for skis?
Yes, we have people that take skis all the time. And so we made it so there's a location inside the bus where we can just, as long as we can bungee them down. So if something happens, the driver has to slam on his brakes or something, they don't go flying and hurt passengers or hurt the driver. So we just have bungee cords and they can bungee them down, and people take their cross-country skis all the time. Well, in the wintertime, not all the time.
Super. So what is the number again to call for Trango if somebody did want to, plan their trip to an appointment?
So Trango would be 509-557-6177.
Okay, great.
And that would be the Trango. And then if they wanted the door-to-door service, again, they would call 509-826-4391.
Yeah. And that's also, is that a non-profit with public funding?
They're a nonprofit. We can actually transfer between the 2 agencies. We share a facility here in Okanagan, and we work really closely with them on providing services. So the object that we want to have is that people really don't know which company they're calling, because we work so closely together. So, but they're a nonprofit organization, and they, like I say, they do the door-to-door within each community.
That's fantastic.
What do riders do if they want to go up Loop and they want to go downhill skiing? Do they walk in, or?
Yeah, they would have to walk in. We were working with the ski hill. They were gonna work on a shuttle that goes in to the ski hill. We just can't, because we don't have enough time on our route, and plus to get in there, and it would just take too much time. But the ski hill was working on getting a shuttle, and then we were meeting them out at the snow park. And that's why we changed our location up on top of the loop to the snow park, because they could get in there, turn around, and then get out. They were going to meet us, and then COVID hit. And it kind of shut things down for a while. So hopefully we'll be able to get in communication with them again and still work on putting that shuttle together.
Thanks, Brent.
All right. Any other questions out there? Okay. Well, that was very informative.
I really appreciate the time that you've given me to be able to explain the services. If you have people that really have individual questions, feel free to call. They can call, like I say, the 509-557-6177, and we'll be more than willing to answer any questions, help them figure out a schedule, let them know where the closest bus stop is to their location, and then where the closest bus stop is to where they want to go.
Perfect. Perfect. And I think that, Met How at Home, we'll have to talk about doing a little Trango field trip somewhere in the county.
Yeah, let me know, and I'll get you as many passes as you need.
Okay, fantastic. And we have the 20 passenger for a little while longer. When do
We
you
will
think
always
that?
have that available over there. So even though the new ones that we're getting will be 9 passenger, if there is a larger group that needs, then you could just call us and say, hey, we need the bigger buses. And there was always going to be one available.
Okay, great. Super. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for attending. And thanks again, Brent, for just being available. I think it'll be really helpful to have this recorded and on the YouTube channel for folks to check it out.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you letting me have the time to speak with you.
All right. Have a great day, everyone, and stay healthy out there. I did get COVID. It is not fun. So I know, darn it. Keep wearing your masks. In those close places,
Thank
it's
you.
going around.
Thanks,
Bye,
Brent.
Gloria.
Yeah, thank
Bye,
you.
thank you.
Yarrow. Bye, Janet and Lincoln. Have a great day, Brent. Good luck with all your other meetings.
Thank you very much.
And off we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's just us. Hey, you're muted.
Should we stop the recording?
I did. Oh,
Oh.
no, I didn't. I thought I did. Where am I? Okay.